just get right into the show and then we'll do that. Right. That. Yes, I want to open the link. Come on. Right. So this is your thing. So you can do this one, right?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start then. Cyberpunk 2077. Developer asked for basic human decency after receiving death threats over game delay, which is, I think, really ridiculous
Yeah.
because it's not a very long delay, even. And I think, like, I don't know, I feel like people should have more patience because a gaming delay, it to me seems better than rushing something out, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways. The creators of Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most anticipated video games of the last few years, are having a rough go of it in the lead up to launch, complicated by yet another delay announced yesterday. To help the CD Projekt Red developers finish polishing the game before it launches across the platforms on December 10th. So that's still like before Christmas, which is
Mm.
still good.
But
Now,
the thing
senior game designer.
the thing is though, right?
Mhm.
They tweeted out well they didn't tweet out, but they actually I think they maybe did. They said it went gold, which means it's you can't fix it anymore. Right? Well, you can patch it, but it means the CD or the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever they're using for the consoles and stuff, it's went out to get printed, right? So the it's finished. So I don't get the delay unless they've found something that's really buggy and they need a day one patch to fix it. I don't know why they've delayed it. It's just a weird thing to do. To say it's gone gold and then say you've not finished it yet. That's weird. Weird. But yeah, on you go.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't
And
think anyone does.
Andrzej Zawadowski.
I've,
Zawadowski. I'm just gonna call him because that's
yeah,
like, I'm sorry, but I'm a filthy freaking English speaking American. I cannot pronounce this.
it's Polish. It's a Polish name. I don't think a
There
lot
you
of people
go.
can pronounce it. So we're fine.
There
You're
you
fine.
go. So he's gonna be for
Yeah.
moving forward. Has taken to Twitter in the aftermath of the delay announcement to plead with fans to exercise some basic human decency by not continuing to send the Polish studio death threats.
Yeah.
I want to address one thing in regards of the at Cyberpunk game delay. I understand you're feeling angry, disappointed, and want to voice your opinion about it. I can understand being disappointed
Mm.
and stuff. I cannot understand being this angry
No, not
that you're
really.
sending death threats. You know what I mean?
No.
But anyways,
It's
however, sending death. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You were gonna
so
say.
they got in trouble like about a month or two ago because of the crunch time that they were doing because they were trying to get the game out. They were spending loads of overtime on getting the game ready, and the press got hold of it and they started bitching about it and stuff. So they've not been having a good. This studio's not been having a good time lately. Um, so they've been getting bashed from the press, and now they're getting bashed from their angry customers, I suppose you could call them. So they're definitely not having a good time. And usually they always have a good time because they make really fucking good RPG games. They made the Witcher games, which got them where they are now. And then they're doing Cyberpunk, which is their next big IP. because it's not a sequel or anything. It's a new thing, and they've been working on it since The Witcher 2. That's fucking like it's about 10 years work or something into that. I think they've been working on it for ages. Everyone knew that this game was going to be coming out like 10 years ago because they released a short trailer thing for it when they got the license. So yeah. Anyway, on you go.
Okay, so then it goes, sending death threats to developers is absolutely unacceptable and just wrong. We are people just like you. And wrote on his Twitter Tuesday evening, and it's surely not the first time the studio has experienced what now feels like commonplace yet still adherent behavior from members of the gaming community. This isn't like gamers. So like I hate that I've seen like some tweets that are like lumping like, oh look, the gamers are at it again. Like there's gonna be toxic people in like every fan base. And so there are, you know, toxic people in the gaming communities that do this sort of shit, you know? And I just feel like I hate those kind of tweets because I was like, no, this is not a gamers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that too. Like, especially that's what started Gamergate, because the press started saying, "Oh, it's all the gamers," and I was like, "Hey, wait now, I'm a gamer. I'm not one of these pieces of shit that you're talking about." And they're like, "Yeah, you are. You're a gamer." And it's like, okay, fuck you then. And so yeah, fuck them. They're liars. They outright lied about everything, and they get called out, and then they just tell you that it's your fault that you're a piece of shit. It's like, wait, I'm just telling you that you're wrong. Anyway, yeah, it's fucked up. I hate when they do that. It's stupid. Aye.
Yeah, 1 second.
I think the delay is like a month. So I think it was to come out in November. So it's only like a month. So I wouldn't be that upset. It's out before Christmas.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get your new graphics card if they're in stock. Because that's another thing. Nvidia.
Oh, and then some people, because the new graphics card's coming out, then the old one will go down in price for people that don't mind.
Possibly. I know that they've stopped making them, so you'd have to get it second hand.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be too bad sometimes.
Yeah. Or stock from leftover stock. But anyway, Nvidia have got their graphics cards out, but you can't buy them because no one can get them. So they're not there. The AMD's just announced their ones, and they're coming out in November. Whether they'll have stock or not, I don't know, but I think they will, because they're using a different company to manufacture the chips, and I knew that Nvidia wouldn't have stock because they've got really, really low yields from where they bought the silicon from. They can't keep up with the demand, so they can't make enough chips. Basically, it's what's happening there. They won't tell you that because they're fucking idiots, and they went with Samsung to make the chips, and Samsung isn't their manufacturing process isn't as good as the other companies, but they went with Samsung because they were cheaper. And now they're having problems with the chip.
Of course they are. So
AMD should be fine though, because they're on TSMC, who basically makes fucking everything. Like they're making the consoles, the AMD chips as well. I think they make the processors for AMD as well, and they're doing the GPUs. So AMD's got a big, massive chunk of their facility, because AMD's getting all their stuff from them, and AMD does the consoles. So all that is coming off the same machines or whatever. So I think they'll be fine. I think the stock for them will be fine. Just have to wait and see. And they're cheaper than the Nvidia equivalent, and they're about the same speed. So usually AMD are slower than Nvidia cards, but this time they're about the same. So everyone that's been waiting for an Nvidia card will probably just get the AMD ones. So they're winning at that point. And I think they've got Cyberpunk sponsorship ones. So you'll probably get Cyberpunk free with the game, with the graphics card. You probably get a free code for Cyberpunk with the graphics card, I think. Anyway, I rattled on too much. Go.
Oh wait, where did I lost my place. Give me a second. I think I was just here though. I don't think I read this.
Cyberpunk
Okay,
77,
Cyberpunk 2077 has had a complicated multi-year development. It started as a game for PC and existing game consoles, and it has formed into a cross-generation one that will also be made available on Google Stadia in addition to PC. On the 7 console platforms it'll support, those include PS4, PS4 Pro, PS5, Xbox One X, and Xbox Series X/S. The game has been,
It's going on all the consoles, even the old ones.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know if my computer can handle it. I don't know, but like I kind of want it. Like I kind of want to play it.
It depends on your graphics card.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to look at that. I don't know how to see what kind of graphics card I have. I have no idea.
GPU-Z, download it.
What?
Download a program called GPU-Z.
Link me it in the Discord.
Yeah. Oh, I need to find it. Yeah, where are you? There we are. Yeah, that. Just download that and then open it up and it'll tell you. It'll tell you what graphics card it is.
Okay, let's see. Clickety.
It's tiny, so it'll take you seconds.
Opened it up. Let's see. Download. Okay.
Right, I'll just do that. The game has been delayed 3 times from its original April 16th release date.
Wait, which one do I download? Like, there's a server for download. Which server do I? There's like 4 American ones.
Just any of them.
I'll just pick the first one.
Yeah. It doesn't say that for me. It just says download.
I clicked on that and then it gave me like 4 options.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to allow this app to make? Yeah, go ahead. Maureen said it was safe, so.
I linked you to a virus. Bad man. Now I can see what you're doing on your computer and see all the porn and stuff that you watch.
I don't watch porn. I read it. I read erotic novels.
I know all the narwhal porn. I can see it all on your desktop now. Silly fishies.
Okay. I don't know what this means.
Read it.
It's a lot. Here.
No, just read a wee bit or screenshot it. Screenshot it. It tells you all the information on your graphics card, basically.
Okay, I screenshot this. I don't know what this is. 1 second, let me.
If it's a, you have got an actual graphics card though, right?
Yeah,
It's not one that's on the CPU or anything.
I have an actual graphics card.
Right, should be okay then. So,
I don't know what that was, but
right, it's an NVIDIA.
uh,
Oh, it's a GTX 970.
oh,
It's okay. Yeah, it's about on par with the one that I've got at the moment.
okay, so it's pretty good,
It's old now.
decent.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be old now, but
it's
decent.
yeah, it's a decent enough graphics card. Aye, it's a lot better than I've seen other people have. So
Sweet.
it should be, yeah. It should easily be able to play the game because I mean they're including it on the PS4, so you should be fine.
Okay, yeah.
You
All
won't
right,
get top
sweet.
you won't get top graphics out of it, but you'll still be able to play it easily enough. Yeah, it's a decent graphics card you've got there. It's half decent. It's getting old now. That's why I'm going to replace mine with one of these new ones when they come out. I've been saving up for years. I keep dipping into it when I save up, and then I can't afford it, and then I save up again, and then there's a new one coming out, and it's like I may as well just save for the new one. So that's what I've done. Otherwise, I would have had one by now. But since the new ones are coming out, I thought I'll just wait a couple of months.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And it means I can get a better one as well. Because I was going to get the 5700, which is, I think, it's about 350 quid. These new ones, the one that I want is the 680 XT, which is going to be closer to 500 quid or something. But because I've saved up that extra time, I can afford that one. So
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome, man.
and I'm gonna have to. Oh, I'm not wanting to do it, but I'm gonna have to. I need to take apart my whole PC to put it in because the heatsink, the thing to cool my processor is so big that you can't get your finger in to unlock the graphics card. So I'll have to take the heatsink off to get the graphics card out to put the new one in. I'm dreading it because it's a pain in the arse. Because I need a big screwdriver that goes right down to the bit where you unscrew it. It's just a pain in the arse. So there's that. And I'm thinking about getting a water cooling thingy for it, maybe, since I have to take the heatsink off anyway. I might get one of them, but I don't know yet. I don't know if I'll have money for it, so I'll see. It depends how much these graphics cards are. Depends if I get that or not. Anyway, so the game's been delayed 3 times from the original April 17th release date. Reports have been swirling about toxic working conditions at the studio, which went back on its word in late September when it instituted mandatory overtime, known in the industry as crunch, to get the game over the finish line. Right, it wasn't mandatory overtime. Seemingly, because that went out on the press, everyone was hitting at them. Oh, you said in September you don't like crunch and you'll never do it in your studio, and then that came out that there was, but everyone that came out and talked about it said no, we just wanted to get the game out, and we volunteered to do it. So and then there was also, so when the game went gold, a lot of the developers for it were talking to a YouTuber. I don't know. There's a YouTuber, and they said that the devs were so happy to get the game out, and but they were frightened to try and celebrate because of the big story about the crunch, and they didn't want to make it worse. If that makes sense. That makes sense anyway. To me, it does. So they couldn't celebrate it going gold and getting it finished because the press went on this big thing saying it was a mandatory overtime and stuff, and people were bitching at them because of what they said in September. So I mean, they've been going through a lot of this dev team in the last couple of months. There's also been legitimate grievances around communication of the delay, with the studio as recently as yesterday telling fans on Twitter that the game would release on schedule. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier reported yesterday that the most recent delay, which means CD Projekt Red developers will likely be working another 3 weeks of grueling hours to finish the game's Day Zero launch patch. So it is a patch. Was announced to the staff at the same time as it went out on Twitter. It also reports some of the studio's employees are clocking 100-hour weeks. Fucking hell. Yeah, see, they actually really want to get that game out. Like, because of all the delays and stuff. Fuck, 100-hour week, that's a long fucking week.
It is. I'd probably just throw myself off my balcony.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'm done.
Did you read his tweets? These tweets here? I'll read them. Cyberpunk 2077 getting a 3-week delay is unusual, but probably won't change much for the developers, many of whom were going to be crunching the December anyways for a post-launch patch, but I sure do hope reality is coming clear to those who try to deny it. Look, the CDRP dev told me recently that they'd just, clocked the 100-hour week. Another former dev told me they saw some of their friends there and they looked physically ill. So kind of GTFO with the but I work long hours too responses. Yeah.
I mean,
my boyfriend has been working long hours, but I don't think that long. Like I think like normal hours is like 40. And so I'm trying to figure out. He's been doing 8 hours.
I think
normal day is like a 40 week, and then everything else is overtime. But he probably has worked like.
I think the EU have got rules on that. I think you're only.
Yeah, I think my boyfriend has probably like done like 50 to 55-hour work week.
I think the EU has rules on that you can only do 45. But I might be wrong.
I don't know. I don't know if we have rules on how much you can do or not. I never like looked into it or anything. But I know like my boyfriend's been working like an extra hour or two like every day. Like an extra couple hours every day. Like he goes in an hour early and has been getting out like an hour late.
Right.
Just about, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe like around like a 50-hour work week he's been doing. But I think like 50 to a 60-hour work week is 60 hours is getting up there to being, that's way too much. You know what I mean? For me, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna look.
But like a 50-hour work week, if somebody wants to do that overtime, I think like that's okay. There shouldn't be like a mandatory overtime thing. I think that's ridiculous. But if you have people and you need them to work extra and you're paying them, because it's like it's time and a half, so you get paid your regular and then half again on top of that of what your normal pay is. And if like people agree, I don't see a problem with like a 55 hour work week. 60 hours is starting to get like you're really overworking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Maximum weekly working hours. Right. So we do. You can't work more than 48 hours a week on average, normally arranged over 17 weeks. This law is sometimes called the Working Time Directive or Working Time Regulations. You can choose to work more by opting out of the 48-hour week. If you're under 18, you can't work more than 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week. Exceptions: you may have to work more than 48 hours a week on average if you work in a job where 24-hour staffing is required in the armed forces, emergency services, or police, security or surveillance, a domestic servant in a private household, as a seafarer, sea fisherman, or worker on vessels on island waterways where working time is not measured and you're in control, e.g., you're a managing executive with control over your decisions. So it's a 48. I was wrong. It's a 48 hour. It's not 45. But you can opt out
it looks
of
like it looks like we have overtime laws.
Yeah.
Because we have laws regarding a work week is only 40 hours. Everything over that, you have to pay the time and a half or whatever it is, and then so you have to pay overtime.
Yeah.
And so that's like protecting people. Let's see.
So your employer can ask you to opt out, but you can't be sacked or threatened unfairly for refusing to do so. You can opt out for a certain period or indefinitely. It must be voluntary and in writing. So yeah, you can opt out. And I'm guessing is Poland in?
Okay, so
I wonder what Poland's
we
one
don't
is.
we don't have a limit to the number of hours that one
Right.
can work for overtime. At least that's what I'm hearing. At least that's what I'm reading here.
Right.
But the Fair Labor Standards Act dictates standards for overtime pay in both the private and public sector.
Mm.
The act requires employers to pay a wage of like 1.5 times the employee's normal pay rate after the employee has completed 40 hours of work. For workers 16 and over, weekend night work does not apply for overtime pay unless it is over the mandated 40 hours. So
Yeah, it's a wee bit similar, but it's not like the employer can fuck with you a bit more there then.
Yeah.
Because
Just
ours
that,
is ours says you can opt out, but the employer, like, you have to agree with the employer on if you're going to do it or not. Like, you can, it can't be mandatory. Basically, you can basically tell them to get to fuck, and they can't fire you because that would be illegal.
Okay, so some states have added on to the laws as well.
Yeah, so that's interesting though, because that means these guys must be wanting to do it, I guess. Unless Poland might be completely different though.
I don't know what's going on in Poland. This is for the U.S.
Yeah.
But I feel like there would be a lot of labor
Yeah.
union things if you tried to fire people for
I'm
them
not sure.
not wanting to work
I'm not
way
sure if
overtime.
I'm not sure
I
if game
know,
developers have a union. To be fair.
yeah, I don't know. I know like with my boyfriend, there's been times where they'll it seems like I think there seems like some mandatoriness to it, like because there'll be times where like you need to come in on Saturday and work, so it'd be Friday through Saturday, and so you might go in for 3 hours, you might go in for 6 hours, but then that's 3 or 6 hours of like overtime pay. But there's been
Yeah.
like lots of times where it's like if it's going over the regular hours in the day, they'll be like, "Who wants to stay
Yeah.
and work?" And then my boyfriend has chosen not to do that sometimes and chosen to do that sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's what that thing here says. Basically, if it's
But
over 48 hours, then you get a
but at the
point.
same time, there's like because my boyfriend is like a offline person, and he has to go in earlier on some days because he's the offline person, so it automatically gives him an hour of overtime.
Right.
But he would get I'm not sure, but I think he might get like, why weren't you here for, the meeting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you might get in trouble for missing that.
Anyway, how did we get? Oh, that was the 100-hour thing.
Yeah. So
Hang on.
yeah, we're talking about the 100 thing. Here's one that says, "This is one of the mildest messages some of us got. There were far, far worse. Every single one is being reported. We will not let it go through. Do not treat it lightly. Do not ignore it. It is serious. That said, I'm off TT for a couple of days. Take care." And so it says, "I know where you live, bro. Release the game or you're finished." Release Cyberpunk or you and your family will be persecuted. I will burn you alive if you don't release the game.
Fuck no.
Some people are fucking crazy. What are you doing? Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's like messed up. Don't do that.
To be fair, I would just laugh at that. Just like, LOL.
Yeah, he said that's some of the that's just like an example of a tame one that they've gotten. They've gotten worse ones, so I don't know. Yeah. That one just sounds like funny. Like I'd be like, "Okay, bro."
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna tell your mom. That's the type of thing. That seems.
I think you're too young to play our game, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, I liked this tweet by Cyberpunk. Since we're still on YouTube, I think, right? I thought we could play this tweet real quick. Because I just thought it was funny, like, in case you've been wondering how our work week's going, and then they have the cheese and the hot sauce maker.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. I seen that go up on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter, but then, like, Cyberpunk... I like that they're joking around, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how this happened, but it's funny.
I don't know why somebody would think that cheese would go in because hot chocolate is like is not as thick, you know. I don't understand what gets somebody to think that this would have even worked at all.
Yeah. It's his
because
face.
they're just cheese and hot like melty chocolate is not the same consistency. Like cheese is a lot thicker.
It looks like he's crying. It's brilliant.
Yeah. He's looking on my cheese. Like my cheese. Wait. I'll screenshot like my favorite face of his and send it to you. 1 second. Alright, that's my favorite face. Do you see it?
Hang on, I'll still got the video on. It looks like he's crying. It definitely looks like he's crying. Where do we find that? Yeah.
There, I just made like.
Yeah.
I made a
That one.
tweet. Yeah, that's my favorite
It
face.
looks like he's just about to cry. Yeah. Oh no. It's I don't know what he was thinking. What was he thinking?
I don't know. There's no way it would ever friggin' work.
'Cause
It
that's
boggles my mind.
That's a chocolate fountain he's using, right? It's not like a cheese fondue thingy.
Yeah, it's not a cheese fondue thing. It's a chocolate fountain, and they do not have the same consistency.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think he thought it was just gonna be like, I don't know. Maybe if it was like a cheese sauce.
Maybe he just done
But
it.
cheese sauce.
Maybe he just
When
done
you
it
when
for
you
a
make
joke.
like a maybe, but you know, like when you make like a cheese sauce, and but you mix it with like milk. It's like cheese and melted cheese and milk, so it gets like it's like not as thick. It's more runnier. That might have worked a little better. But I don't know.
But chocolate explodes on them things as well. There's a tweet underneath it that shows you the chocolate fountain getting fucked up. It just fucking explodes and the chocolate just sprays out all over the place. So, because you get different thicknesses of chocolate as well, I suppose.
Yeah, probably if it doesn't melt right, yeah.
Right, we'll say goodbye to YouTube and
Bye, YouTube.
tune in for the rest of the show at arifradio.co.uk.